Hey everyone, Charlie Murphy here. Thanks for tuning in. Table 4, we're going to open Jack 10 from middle position, slightly loose, but going after recreational players, still to act. Table 1, 3x open under the gun. I'm in the cutoff with Jack 10 suited. A little bit loose to 3-bet there. Could do it, but I think I'll err on the side of caution against a reg type player thus far. Table 4 got called in position. Not sure if that guy's a rec or a reg. I think he's mostly a reg. I was thrown off base by a stack sizing tell earlier as I joined the table. Don't think that's the case, though, from what I've seen stat-wise and some other moves and using that small bet size right there. I would much rather have a spade in my hand or backdoor diamonds. However, I will call it the 2 overcards and that 3 to the straight. Speed check folding the 6s against the recreational player over here. Against the second stab, I'll fold Jack 10 high. Table 2, open A7 suited from the cutoff. Recreational player calls in the small blind. I'll go ahead and bet small on Jack Queen 7. Rivers or turns an ace gives me 2 pair here on a straight possible board. I'm going to use a smaller size here, especially since we're not deep. I'm going to keep checking the 6s over here. When I go for a third suited value, I don't think I want to jam here all in for 2x pot and the backdoor flush closer, straight boards possible. I got to get called by worse than. Got to be called by his Queen X or Jack X that were on the flop for the most part. Don't want to scare him off with the overbet. Call here with the heart in the hand on that flush closing turn. Continue checking. I get paired up as 9 and sort of stab small with it. Blind on blind, table 4, 3x open. I'm in the big blind with Jack Deuce suited. We'll mix in a few of these kind of trashy suited combos in the 3-bet range. So I'll go ahead and pop them up. Blind on table 1, 3x open. You could 3-bet this. I tend to lean more towards call with the offsuit combos of hands like King, Queen, King, Jack, Ace, Jack, Ace, 10. He bets. I call. We get a 6-5-3 low monotone board. I do have the relevant suit in my hand with the King of Clubs. I'll go ahead and stab. Table 4, opening pocket queens on the button. Get called by both blinds. Get a King 5-3 two-tone board. Small blind donks out for pot. Not gonna. The large size gives me some pause against a loose passive rack, but I am going to go ahead and float at least once with pocket queens. Go ahead and check back the king queen on the turn over there. Now he goes ahead and block bets into me. I don't think raising might be a slightly thin. I think I'll just go ahead and call down with my top pair. Just pocket tens with the club. Against that double donk for pot, I'll just go ahead and fold pocket queens. I don't know that I'm folding too much King X. Maybe some weak King X. I can talk myself into it. I think I want to give some credence to the large size there. Large size on flop and turn. Blind on blind, open Queen Jack on table 1. Go ahead and bet small on Jack 8-7 and go into check call down mode. In most runouts, check the ace turn for sure. He stabs a little under half pot. Easy check call. Check the river on the flush closing 4. Ace 9 offsuit. So he turned the overcard for new top pair. Table 1 will open Queen 10 from the cutoff. Take 3-bet out of the small blind. Go ahead and muck my Queen 10 offsuit. Table 2, opening 7s from middle position. Recreational player playing very loose, almost any 2 cards the first couple orbits, 10 out of 11 hands he's voluntarily played. Getting 9-6-3 two-tone board, just can go ahead and check. Quickly checks back. Turn is the flush closing deuce of hearts. I'm going to go ahead and stab small here, or delay continuation, bet small. Quickly calls. I think I can actually block bet here and get called by like a 6-3 a deuce. I'm going to go ahead and try that. Quickly calls and mucks just as fast. Ace of hearts, jack of diamonds. Don't expect him to bet that on the river. Recreational player limps. Button isolates him to 4. I'm in the big blind with ace queen. Gonna pop that up here. I think at about 14 sounds good. Table 3, opening king jack suited from middle position. By a recreational player, and then by in position, looks like a red type player, though I'm not completely sure as of yet. Check range out of position to 2 players. Table 1, under the gun opens min raise. I'll 3-bet my button with ace king. Recreational player stabs half pot, gets raised in position. Don't really love. I think what hands actually want to be like in the raising range here is what I'm trying to think of. Obviously, like a hand like ace 5 is gonna wanna re-raise both of these, so I should have some bluffs in the mix as well. I really can't call here. Race folding seems bad. I don't know what to do there. I'm just gonna fold. We'll just continue my entire continue range for a flat there. Great flop for ace king, king of spades, the ace 6-5 monotone flop, giving me top pair, top kicker, and the nut flush draw with the king of spades in hand. I just go ahead and stab small. Very strong hand I've got here on the flop. I guess I could lose to the case aces. Table 2, 2.7x open under the gun. I'll 3-bet the cutoff with ace 10 suited. I'm just going to keep stabbing small here with the ace king. Get cold 4-bet jam by a player that hasn't raised once yet in 4 orbits. I'm obviously going to just turbo muck the ace 10. Like using that small betting scheme on the flop in the turn, because if he's got a hand like queens or jacks with the spade that got a call, but they're really not drawing to anything at the same time because I've got the draw dominated. That hand where I was unsure what to do with the overcards and the flush draw, the recreational player flatted then let out with queen 8 on that board. The in-position player made a move with ace deuce. Ace deuce with the backdoor draw. It actually rivered the ace for the top pair. Got a small bet in the river. Perhaps my free betting would have actually worked. But that's relevant to what's good or bad right there. But I should probably have some hands that are bluffs from that spot. I'm just not exactly sure it's such a weird spot. Weird multi-way spot. Table 1, 10-8 suited, blind on blind, standard open. Table 4, blind on blind, and open pocket sixes. Table 1, opening queen jack from middle position. Recreational player calls the cutoff. Good start. Big blind comes along as well. Sandwich between both players, all range check. I've got second pair on ace queen 4 rainbow. Get a little under half pot bet, free into 7.5 from the rec. I'll go ahead and check call. Turn is the deuce of spades, putting a backdoor flush draw up there, but otherwise not impacting things very much. River is the 4 of spades. I've got queens and 4s with ace kicker. I have, obviously I'm losing to an ace. I chop with all queens. I lose to 4s. The only way to get value from this hand is by inducing bluffs. If I bet it, I'm just turning it into a bluff. He never tries to get more value out of his ace there. I think that's being played too weak. Table 1, blind on blind. I'll open ace 6 under the rec. Comes along for a call. I'll get an ace 8 4 two-tone board. Gonna go ahead and put in a small range bet, then really go into a check called on line here. I think I can even consider check raising there, having made 2 pair. At 6 turn, it does complete hands like 5-7, but otherwise this hand is very strong. Blast 5 into 9. Open limps up here on table 2. Gonna go ahead and check my big blind with 3 deuce suited. Got a piece on 10-8 deuce 2-tone, including the backdoor flush draw. And what this silly guy thinks he's doing, open limping and min betting, but I'm not too worried about any of that. He min bets, he calls. I'll call as well with bottom pair and the backdoor flush draw. Turn is the jack, doesn't help me in any way, shape, or form. In fact, has some made straights are now possible. I was not going to call any turn bets, but when it checks through, the river is the queen, putting the forester out there. I'm going to turn this hand into a bluff. I've got this, and I've got busted clubs as my bluffs for the most part here. I think this hand is just too difficult. It's going to show down, but I think it's all right to try to steal the pot from these guys when they shouldn't be all that strong. I mean, they can have 9x, they can have plenty of 1-pair hands, some 2-pair hands. I've also got a decent bit of stuff that will fold. He folds right away. The other guy thought about it. Table 1, middle position will open ace-9, slightly loose, but with Rex in the play, I'm going to get loose and get after him. Table 2, up at 8-7 suited from the button. Table 1, get a Jack 6-4 rainbow board sandwiched between 2 players. I'll be checking range here. Checks around. Turn is a 7, putting a backdoor flush draw up there. Still don't have a whole lot going for this hand. I will check it. Multi-way. Maybe bluff the river unimproved. Table 4, get a 2.5x open from the cutoff. I have pocket aces in the small blind, so of course that will be raised. Get a queen 10-4 rainbow board as he calls the 3-bet. Going to go ahead and put in a small bet here. Table 1, I'm in the big blind with 8-6 suited. Cutoff opens 2.5x. Will defend for a call with my 8-6 suited. Interesting turn card here on table. Do I just dust this off? I don't know what to do on this board here where ace-king is possible. I guess I can still get called by combo draws, so I'm going to go ahead and keep betting. Hands like king-9 and 10-9 still don't even necessarily have the nuts and might not stick around, or 9-8 rather. Better just bet and let God sort it out. Table 3, 2.5x open from the button. I'll 3-bet my small blind with ace-king suited. Get a 6-5-4 rainbow board. I guess I can have pocket sixes here, but beyond that, I really don't have very many strong hands. I'm going to go ahead and play this as a range check instead of a high-frequency bet here on a board like this. You can have 8-7 suited, many, if not all of those sets. I would have all of those sets in his spot. And goes ahead and stabs 1/3. I think I still call ace-king high with a backdoor flush draw against that. Table 2, 2.5x open from the button. I'm going to go ahead and 3-bet my small blind with pocket eights. Get called and get a 10-7-6 monotone board. I've got the gut shot second pair and the flush draw. I'm going to go ahead and check the monotone board out of position as well. Table 3 on that 8 that makes a forester out there. Just going to go ahead and check fold my ace-king high. Maybe if I've got ace-king of hearts where I picked up the backdoor flush, I can get crazy and do some kind of check jamming stuff there along with some 7x type hands that didn't check raise the flop. Get stabbed small by the in-position player on table 2. I'll check call my 8s with the spade. Turn is the jack, offsuit jack. He continues betting. A triple barrel line from the imposition caller against a check is a little bit less bluffy than typical. Same with a monotone flop. I think I'm gonna be better served to get out of here at this point. Table 3, 2.5x open under the gun. Got king queen on the button. Crazy daisy. Recreational player in the small blind goes ahead and overcalls. Get a 10-3 deuce. Two-tone board. I've got two overcards. I've got a heart in my hand with the queen. I'm going to go ahead and continuation bet half pot. Table 2 going to open queen 9 from the cutoff, a bit looser with recreational players in the blinds. Table 1 open an ace-8 suited blind on blind. Now this guy, other than the limp, he hasn't been very fishy or recreational type player here, and he's using a good size right there. I'm obviously folding queen 9, but I'm reconsidering if I think this guy is a fish or not. Get a 3-bet from the recreational player here, blind on blind. Ace-8's a little bit loose to be continuing, especially against the slightly larger size, even against a reg, against a fish who's going to be much more passive. I think it's a clear fold. Table 1, going to open ace-king from the button. Recreational player comes along in the small blind. Get a 5 deuce deuce, very low paired rainbow board. Just going to go ahead and put in a small bet. Checking back unimproved, planning to bluff catch Brewers. Pretty much any run out with that hand. What's the flop? Starts that low, dry, not much going on. Very hard for ace king to be beat. The fact that this guy's in the small blind does not change anything compared to the big blind. For a reg, it might, because they're going to be so much more pocket pair heavy. Can range condense more around mid pocket pairs. Whereas this guy will just have any two cards he thinks looks pretty. Table 2, a recreational player limps cut off who's been isolating pretty aggressively. It seems like every time I look up there, he's going after him. I don't want to let him do too much of that. When I've got a hand like ace king on the button, it becomes a very easy hand to 3-bet. Table 4, opening jack 9, suited from middle position, short stack recreational type player calls from the cutoff. Get a 10, ace 10, 7 two-tone board. I think I want to go ahead and bet small here. Size down even more than usual because he's just so short. From the queen, I bet a double gut shot now. Open under. I think I can keep betting small. Fold to a jam, otherwise jam the river. I miss, but we got about a pot-sized bet left with the busted draw. We're gonna put him to the test here. Table 3, cutoff opens 2.5. I'll 3-bet my button with ace-7 suited. I do not recommend triple barreling against fish in position and single raised pots if you're using larger bet sizes on earlier streets, but because this stack is so shallow and I was using such small bet sizes, I'm comfortable with the idea that his range is still reasonably wide with plenty of hands that can fold the river when I jam there for pot. We were deeper stacked and I overbet the turn. I'm probably just shutting down all bluffs on the river, pretty much any texture, just because, you know, I already scared them off their weak bullshit on the turn. Don't fold nearly enough after calling a large turn bet. The data's to be believed. Table 3, opening Jack 10 suited from middle position. Get 3-bet in position by the button. Table 1 gonna open Queen Jack from the cutoff. Guy's a little on the tight side. Queen Jack is kind of a cuspy defense from middle position. Given that this guy's been so tight thus far through 5-6 orbits, I'm going to treat him like he's a little bit tighter than we otherwise would and go ahead and fold a hand that's close. Now my 2.5x open gets popped up to 6x by the in-position player. Defend a lot that small size, but maybe not quite everything. I think the offsuit hands actually don't realize all that well, and I will actually fold some offsuit ones. Suited ones are all coming up. Suited cards are coming along for sure. I think I'll fold some of the most troubled hands in my range here when a guy starts showing some aggression that otherwise pretty passive. He thinks he's going to get a lot of folds with that small 3-bet size and continues to make those raises. I'm afraid he's going to be sadly mistaken. Three X open, blind on blind, table 1, queen 5, just too nasty to be defending. I'll go ahead and let that one go. Table 2, opening king 9 from the button. Table 2, gonna open ace 10 under the gun. Flattered in middle position. The guy's played like a reg, but I think calling from that spot's a little bit sketchy. Gets squeezed by this guy here, I'll go ahead and fold a hand like ace-10, no questions asked. Really big squeeze size right there, too. Probably just jam over the top of that with my continue range and fold everything else. Going from 15 to 30 is only 2xing his squeeze size. Really can't raise fold much more than 30% on my stack. I really don't want to be making 4 bets that lay him 3-1 plus the dead money worth the call. I think that's just a jam or fold spot. Table 2, button opens 2.5x, got 10-9 suited in the small blind. Gonna go after him right there. Hit 4-bet, quite small. A little out of line to defend that against a 4-bet though, so go ahead and let that go. Recreational player limps under the gun. I'll isolate from the button with King 9. One of the weakest hands I would isolate with here from the button, but I still think it's plenty fine to do against recreational players limping. Table 3, King 10, blind down blind, standard open. Take it down. Squeeze opportunity on table 4 here. Well, not anymore. Someone beat me to it. Pocket 7's a little bit close. I'd also have considered calling if I didn't want to squeeze against that small sizing with the overlay out there from the overcaller. Big blind not too likely to squeeze behind me, even if he does. If everyone else folds out, go ahead and stick my 7s in against him for 16 blinds. Table 2, gonna open ace queen under the gun. Table 4, we only have one recreational player. He doesn't have much money. He's not playing all that loose. He's in the worst possible seat. I should be able to find a better game than this, so I'm going to jump out of that table and go look for greener pastures. Table 2, 2.5x open from the button. I'm in the big blind with ace 5. That's a very reasonable hand to defend for a call here. And that, check the flop. Great flop for me. Ace 7-5 rainbow. Top and bottom pair. Really only lose to sets and ace 7. Goes ahead and puts in what appears to be a standard small continuation bet, range bet. I'll go ahead and check raise him. Table 3, going to open deuces under the gun. Table 4, 2.5x open from the cutoff. I will 3-bet my button with ace king. Get called. 4 hits, so 6-8 got there, or I guess 6-3 if he somehow has something like that. But I am not going to look for monsters under the bed and with a strong hand and a loose formation. Keep barreling. Table, got 2 recreational players. I get led into for a third pot on King 9 deuce. I'm just going to flat with my set against the short stack, coerce this guy into coming in. Can always get money from this guy later. River is the 9. Got about 2x pot left. Set myself up to 2x pot jam here. Gonna go ahead and put the rest in. I'm gonna keep flattening in position. Don't want to blow him off a likely weak range with my monster. Table 1, 2.5x open to the gun. Defend my big blind with 6s. Get a 5-5-4 rainbow board. He stabs one for continuation, bets 1/3. I'll check call, check the turn. Here he bets 4 into 24 on that board pairing 9 river. A lot of pot size bet left behind. Just gonna ship the rest in. He continues barreling on table 1. With that 7 gives me the open-ended straight draw as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and call that. Really looking to improve, but too much equity to think about folding there to that second barrel. Plus, I could even check down good occasionally. Did get called down with my full house. He had king 10 of hearts, so he had top pair plus the flush draw. And he triple barrels. I don't know that I really need to be bluff catching light against triple barrels from under the gun players, but let's not do anything too rash and brash here. Let's just think about shit. Should just let that one go. Table 1, going to open ace 8 on the button. Table 4, opening jack 10 from the button. Table 2, opening ace 10 from the cutoff. Big blind calls me, checks to me on 6-5 deuce two-tone. Gonna go ahead and stab for half pot. Just because I think I'm gonna pick up enough folds to justify it. Board's really not great for the under the gun player compared to the big blind player. These guys don't really seem to understand that, or at least to do anything about it if they do. Table 2, cut off recreation limps. I check my big blind with 8-7 and check call the queen 7-6 rainbow board. Turn is the 3 of hearts. He keeps min betting, so I keep check calling. River 4 of hearts, putting a backdoor flush and a 4 straight out there. Now he sizes up a bit, more like 3/4. Four straight river is where fish actually have a trouble finding bluffs. We'll just muck that one. Guy that's been doing some limping, limps under the gun, gets isolated by the cutoff player to a 4x size. Want to go ahead and pop that back up with pocket tens. Table 3, 3x open to the gun, defend my big blind with king, queen. Check call queen 4-3 rainbow with my top pair second kicker. My 10 isolation 3-bet gets called by the isolating player. I'm going to bet out small on jack 6-4 rainbow. Table 1, open 8s on the button, get called by a rec in the big blind, and a continuation bet small on ace queen 6. Table 2, turn as a queen. I think I want to slow down and check here. I'm going to check call again with my top pair over here on table 3. Ace king. Now, I think there's more merit in trying to get called by ace 6, 7s, 8s, 9s than there is to be worried about value cutting myself against the jack or some kind of queen that he backdoored into. I think I want to go ahead and bet a little on the thin side here, but not terribly thin. I think this is about the cutoff point, but I think that's a good bet, especially against a guy who may be a little suspicious of me. I guess he might check a jack back that I would get the showdown against for free, but also will call the bet. I think trying to get value from the non-worst hands worse than a jack, like 6x through pocket nines, is got a lot of merit to it. He calls. My hand is good. Good sense, Charlie. Ace 6 of diamonds, which he really shouldn't have even called with in the first place, so I do not feel bad for him after making what I feel to be a entirely too loose pre-flop call in that spot. Table 4. Here, table 2 will open 8-6 suited from the cutoff first of all. Table 4 will get that raise and the re-raise, so I'll just fold my king 5 suited. Recreational player calls out of the small blind over here on table 2. Got an opening and straight draw, 9-7 deuce monotone. No relevant flush draw on my hand, but do have the straight draw. Put in a small continuation bet, and he throws the cards in the muck as fast as possible. Table 4, I'm on the button with Jack 9 suited. I'm facing the middle position, 2.5x open. A little bit loose to go after him. Probably about a break even or mixed frequency play. Little outside of my standard open range, but if I thought the guy's going to be too tight or if he's fishy, I'd go after him. Table 2, recreational player limps. I'll complete the small blind with Queen 8. Check to this big blind and limper on Ace King 9. Everyone checks around. This guy seems like a fish too. I'm just going to go ahead and stab. I get min raised. I'll go ahead and fold. Like stabbing aggressively against fishes and limp pot that I've already checked. Seems like good business. Table 3 gonna open 10s on the button. Recreational player calls out of the big blind. Decent flop for 10s. Jack 5-3 rainbow. Go ahead and put in a small bet. Plan to check turns, except maybe if I turn a 10. And no reason to 3-bet this guy. I'm sensing he already feels like I'm bullying him. This is kind of an optional or mixed frequency play, but I'm not going to take it because I think this guy is going to be suspicious of me. Table 3, open an ace 9 from the cutoff. New table 4 doesn't seem very good. 3-bet to a very large size in position on table 3. 3-bets me 5x in position. Not sure where he learned that one. That's not something I have in my repertoire, not something I'm teaching personally. Even a 4x raise is awful silly. Table 3, gonna open Jack 10 under the gun. Getting a little loose just because I got a guy I want to play hands with in seat 5, or a guy that is at least not going to 3-bet me all that much in seat 5 at minimum, so. All good things for the marginal hands. Table 4, open an ace king from middle position. Table 4, my ace-king faces a 3-bet out of the big blind. Kind of a tight formation here. Not expecting the big blind to have all that many weak 3-bets in range. Does use a pretty normal size from 2.5 to 11. I think that's pretty reasonable. I think I'm just going to raise aces, kings, ace-king suited. You know, as 4-bet hands to get him in here. A hand like ace-king offsuit, queens, down to some mid-pocket pairs can be called. Go ahead and float, take the flop. Looks like you got a couple recreational players limping on table 2. I'm going to go ahead and pop up out of the blinds with pocket jacks. That's 9 into 21 on a 10-6-4 rainbow board. I think I still float ace-king even with no heart here against that. Already kind of close, but I just want to be involved if an ace or a king peels. Table 2, recreation player limps. I'll complete the small blind with ace-8. Table 4, get an ace of hearts turn. I think just checking back ace-king, no heart is going to be the move there. River the 10, board pairing card, gives me some showdown. I'm just going to take the showdown with ace-king high. Against ace-10. Cute to try to induce the bluff on the river. Table 1, 2.5x button open. I'll 3-bet my small blind with pocket 8s. Table 1, open ace-8 suited from the cutoff. Table 2, recreational player limps. I'll check in my small blind with 5-4. Get an ace-5-5 two-tone board. Happy with that. I'm going to try to get max value from an ace here. Check to him. He bets 3. I mean, he could have better 5s, but he could also have lots of aces that just aren't going anywhere. Check raise him big. Table 1, I get popped up from 2.5 to 5 by this recreational player in the small blinds. So obviously I defend any 2 in position against that. That's 5 into 10 on 4 deuce deuce. Kind of short. I think I'll actually fold the flop. I'm looking to hit a good piece of the flop right away. Could float there and still be behind if I hit either the ace or the 8. Table 2, 2.5x button open. I'll 3-bet my small blind with pocket 7s. Pretty standard, reasonable 3-bet in these positions. Table 1, going to open 8-7 suited under the gun. Slightly loose, but I have my reasons. Big blind calls me, checks to me on ace-king 7 two-tone. I do have the backdoor flush draw to go with my pair of 7s. I'll go ahead and continuation bet small. Pick it up pretty quick. Table 4, we're going to open 9-6 suited from the button. Playing 3-handed here against a guy that I think is a little bit sick of my shit. And a recreational player. It's limping a lot and never raising. Very loose passive player opens 3x over here on from middle position over here on table 3. Table 2, I get called by the big blind, checks to me on ace queen 9. I'll go ahead and put in a small continuation bet. This is a very cuspy hand to defend with, given this guy's been so tight passive and then using a fairly larger than typical pre-flop size. I'm going to go ahead and err on the side of caution, even though he's a fish. New table 4, get a cutoff player open limping. I'll pop him up from the big blind with Jack 10 suited. Table 1, my recreational buddy in the big blind goes ahead and again pops me up from 2.5 to 5. Gonna call up my ace jack. Nice good flop for me. Ace queen 4 monotone when I have the jack of clubs kicker in my hand. Pretty strong, pretty safe hand thus far. Table 3, 2.5x open under the gun. I'm in the button with queen 10 suited. Gonna go after him here in position. And check back once on that board. Turn is that jack giving me 2 pair now to go with the club blocker and a flush draw. I'll just go ahead and flat in position. Table 3, my 3-bet gets called when I flop a monster queen 10 deuce top 2 pair. Go ahead and put in a small continuation bet. Now he goes ahead and he bets half pot. Can I get called by worse if I jam here is my question. That's what I'm not quite sure of. I think I need to keep barreling here, even though that 9 closed flushes and straights. Check it back. He just rivered the nuts and checked back. What a guy. Just gonna flat it. Definitely going to reopen for value on that blank river there after he checks. Table 3 with my queen 10. Might be too nitty. Really a lousy card there with all the flushes and all the best draws completed on that. The real question of mine is if he has a hand like ace queen, king queen with the club, do I get 3 streets on this run out if I barrel turn and river? But I'm not sure of. Table 3, open ace 10 from what's effectively the button. Big blind calls. Going to go ahead and put in a small continuation bet on ace king deuce two-tone. Quickly calls. Turn is the ace. Now, I think a board like this, I can either overbet or check. I don't see much merit in betting small. He check jams on me. I don't think I need to be bluff catching here, even though my hand is strong. Really don't think he's going to have a better ace in this spot very much. A little bit of ace jack, but that's going to be 3-betted some frequency. Table 1. Okay, now. Get called in position, out of position. We'll check range on that monotone jack 6-5 flop. I do have the nut flush. Obviously going to value bet my trips here on what's a pretty blank river. Question is just, do I think I just jam on him here. Flop checked around on table 4. I still have the nuts from that offsuit king overcard turn, so I'm going to start betting out. Plan to bet the river as well. Table 4, opening 5s from the button. Table 3, rather, I'm sorry. Table 4, I'm opening 7-6 suited from the cutoff. Table 4, the big blind, or 3, the big blind calls, get a king, king, 6, two-tone board. Going to continuation bet small. Check calls. Turn is the flush closing 10 of diamonds. I will check back. I guess if I had a small diamond in my hand, that could be a bluff that can check back on the 4th diamond. 5-5, no diamond should just be a check. We'll look into showing this down on the river. Can maybe try to even bluff him off of a 6 here. That's a decent bit of showdown, actually. I'm just going to take it. Had the 6. Maybe I can bluff him off it. Table 3, open ace-9 suited from the cutoff. Table 4, going to open jack-10 under the gun. Specifically getting loose because of the fishy player on the button. Who does not disappoint. He comes along for the call. Get a 10-5-5 two-tone board. Going to go ahead and put in a small continuation bet with my marginal value hand. Don't let him peel overcards for free. Now he raises me. Interesting. Not really expecting that. Go ahead and fold it. You can actually have a decent bit of better 10s even right there, and sometimes these guys get too mergy with their flop raises. If that's what's going on. Playing right into his hands, even though the strategy they use is not good when they do that kind of thing. Calling with a hand like Jack-10 can play into the mergy parts of their value range that probably shouldn't be there, but can be. Table 4, 3x open under the gun. Got 9-7 suited in the big blind. I will defend for a call. I'm going to check the flop. Small piece of it, Queen-10, 7 two-tone. I do have a backdoor hard draw to go with my 3rd pair. He bets, but he sizes up, goes about 3/4. A little bit more suspicious of that. Obviously going to call here, given that I've still got a pair and some backdoors, but going to be a bit more cautious against that kind of sizing. Turn is the jack that checks through. River is the 10 pairing the board. I really don't think I should try to bluff him off a queen, a jack, or a 10. I'm just going to try to take my showdown here. Ace jack. Okay. I don't think I'm getting him to fold that. Table 1, open an ace 9 from middle position. Table 2, open queen 9 suited from middle position. Button calls and then small blind squeezes. I will get out of the way. Table 2, opening queen jack in middle position. Table 3, open an ace jack under the gun. Table 4, under the gun limps. I'll isolate from the button with pocket eights. Small blind player calls the ISO raise. Then I get squeezed. I can actually have some calls here in position, even though I'm not closing the action. Although given that the size is so big, I may not be calling too much. Probably just have some raise like aces, ace, king suited, and find a bluff or two, and then maybe just jam hands like queens, jacks, ace, king. Eights can just be a fold here. Too much money getting in pre-flop to be playing passively for calls. Table 1, open deuces from the button. Recreational player comes along for a call. Get a queen, jack, 4 rainbow board. I'll put in a small continuation bet. Actually shutting down after this. Turn is a 3. Check back. River is the ace. I think I can actually fold him off some stuff here. That's 4. I don't want to be blocking anything that he block bets with, like a queen or a jack. He bets half pot. I don't want to get too out of line here. I'd rather have a little bit better removal properties. Let it go. Table 3, blind on blind, open them pocket jacks. Get 3-bet by the big blind. Go ahead and 4-bet the jacks, get them in. Uh-oh, lost my internet connection. Oh dear. See if we get it back in time for anything to matter. Second Wi-Fi up called Suck My Wiggly Dick. That is not mine. Don't look pretty. Yeah, was going to wrap up in a couple of minutes, so I guess I'll just use this as an excuse to cut it off now. Hate to get cut short on the accord of the internet crashing out, but that's where we're at, so that's what we're going to do. Thank you for watching. Until next time, this is Charlie Murphy signing off.